All right, the first series of the season is over for New York Mets as they win 3 games, but obviously just now losing the fourth game 4-2 in a game where the Mets were leading going into the eighth inning. But really, I mean, I feel like that's where we got to start with because this is where the game obviously was lost here in the eighth inning. And there was a multitude of reasons. So, thing number one, my biggest takeaway from that eighth inning is I am going to see a really good reason why Trevor May all of a sudden was not able to pitch. Is he injured? Did something else happen? Why they couldn't bring Trevor May in? Because he was warming up and then he couldn't come in to pitch. So that's thing number one. Number two, this whole idea of everybody needs to play. We got to make sure that everybody plays. Exactly. What the heck? I don't like that. Trevor Williams is your long reliever. That's his role. His role is not to come in the eighth inning in a one-run ball game with guys on base. That's not what Trevor Williams does. He makes starts for you. He comes as a long reliever. If Taijuan Walker has a really bad start tomorrow, he's giving up home runs to Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper and these guys, that's where you go to Trevor Williams. That's where you go to your long reliever. Not now, not an eighth inning game. When you have guys on base, maybe give Seth Lugo a try. He could go multiple innings. Where was Drew Smith? I mean, Drew Smith, he had a good outing the other day. Where was he? Like, that's the time to use your guys. I understand you want everyone to play and be in rhythm and things like that, but there has to be times to do it and times not to do it. I mean, Travis Jankowski needs to make starts, things like that. It really just makes no sense to me. The other thing I didn't like, Sean Doolittle facing Robinson Cano. Cano has really bad career numbers against Doolittle. You have J.D. Davis on the bench, who's much better against left-handed pitching. That's a good time to go to J.D. Davis instead of leaving Robinson Cano up there just to make him strike out. And then when he brings J.D. Davis up to hit for Tomas Nido, how about Starling Marte? How about him? Maybe he can get a pinch hit opportunity. You're paying this guy all this money. Why not use Starling Marte just for one at bat? He got his day off. Swing the bat a couple times. That's it. You don't need to go to J.D. Davis there. You should have gone to him earlier when you were facing the left-handed pitcher. So, I mean, obviously you'll take 3 out of 4, but this is a game the Mets should have won. I mean, there is not a reason why this team should have lost. And one of the other guys we got to look at today, and Pete Alonso, obviously he didn't have the greatest day in the field, was underhand throw to the catcher and things like that, and then throwing away to second base. Lindor couldn't get the force out. It definitely was not good to see. But the other guy I'm looking at today, how about Brandon Nimmo going 0 for 5 today in the leadoff spot, 2 strikeouts, and he left 5 guys on base. So definitely not a good game by Brandon Nimmo. And the same goes for Robinson Cano. He batted third. I mean, I hate that Robinson Cano plays as much as he does, but then you decide to bat the guy third. Why? And what does Cano do? He goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He strands 3 runners on. So the guys at the top of the order, I mean, other than Francisco Lindor hit his home run earlier in the game, those are guys that really did not step up because you saw Mark Canha have 3 hits. You saw McNeil get on base multiple times. But other than that, what are these other guys doing? Nothing. So that really was frustrating that the offense was not good. And they were not facing great pitching. So, I mean, he hit the ball hard a lot. He struck out twice with guys on base. I mean, come on now. So that just wasn't what you want to see there. And he's supposed to get walks. That's what Nimmo does, get walks. I don't need him striking out twice. But I just didn't like the way that, like we said, these multiple reasonings. And I just feel like, what's the Mets bullpen depth? If you feel like you have to go to chase a tree to go, start an inning, then pitch another inning, then come out again, and then you're asking Trevor Williams to come in these high leverage spots. I mean, I don't know. I would just like to see a little more depth out of these guys. Yeah, I'm not mad at Trevor Williams. I just don't think that this is the time to go to him. I mean, again, tomorrow, who's your long reliever? Are you going to bring in David Peterson if Taijuan Walker struggles? Again, I just think there's a time to use a guy and there's a time not to use a guy. But other than that, obviously, it was a very good series. We saw the team hit the ball really well for the most part, hitting with guys in scoring position. Mark Canha's got off to a great start. Like Gio said, Jeff McNeil's been looking pretty good. He went the other way. He hit the home run on his birthday. So you're seeing things like that. But, I mean, this definitely just was frustrating because it happened so quick, and they had so many opportunities. Would you be saying all this if Pete would have made 2 errors to lose the game? I mean, probably not. If Alonso doesn't make the errors and they win, maybe we'd all be happy. Ha, ha, ha. Very funny. That was a good one. I like that one. But I don't know. It just was really frustrating. And then with Tomas Nido, the way they are just making him a guy that bunts. I mean, he got one down for a hit, but if that's going to be your game plan for Tomas Nido, that he's going to be a guy that strictly bunts, I mean, that definitely is a little interesting. I know he's great behind the plate as far as framing, but things like that, I feel like teams are going to catch on, and then all of a sudden the bunt won't work. And then what's Tomas Nido's value going to be to the team? Because other than that, he had 2 strikeouts as well. So I don't know. And then the thing is, Pete Alonso can't DH because Buck Showalter has to play Robinson Cano every single day. So Cano has to be the DH, and you can't put Dom at first and have Pete Alonso DH. So it really is just very frustrating. And this is exactly right, Randy. Every game counts. Oh, it's only one game. Oh, things like that. The Nationals aren't good. You got to beat them when you have them on the ropes like that because the Phillies are not going to be easier. The Braves won't be easier. And you know all the other tough teams the Mets are going to play as the season goes on. So when you have the lead in the 8th inning, you always want to capitalize off those games, especially when a guy like Juan Soto wasn't even the guy that crushed you. So if you were able to escape all these jams with Juan Soto and you still don't win the game, that really is frustrating. So I just didn't like how much the team struck out today. That really is what bothered me because that was one thing they were doing. They weren't too bad with the striking out the first few games, but then say, like I said, Nemo 2 strikeouts, Cano 2 strikeouts, Alonso a strikeout, same for Escobar a strikeout, Nido 2 strikeouts. So things like that is not okay. And again, I'm not slandering Trevor Williams. I mean, how many more times do I got to say this? The guy gave up some ground balls, but all he is just not the time to use him. Go to a strikeout pitcher. Drew Smith gets strikeouts. Seth Lugo gets strikeouts. If you have guys on base, go to somebody else. Trevor Williams is your long reliever. Use him in a long relief role. I mean, it is just a very simple concept. And I mean, the Mets, they didn't have Edwin Diaz. Obviously, he's on the bereavement list. Again, we don't know what happened with Trevor May. I'm guessing he either got hurt or something had to come up why Trevor Williams couldn't be in this game. And you didn't want to use Adam Ottavino too much. So it really is just frustrating that it's just the way the things shook out for them. But at least Carlos Carrasco pitched good other than giving up that home run to Nelson Cruz. That was good to see Carrasco have a good bounce back. Could have had Steven Matz on the Mets say, no, thank you. No, you could keep him. I'm glad you stole him from the Mets, aren't you? I don't know if Jeff McNeil is fully back yet, but so far, he's doing pretty good. I mean, I definitely like what I'm seeing that he used the opposite field a little more. As long as he keeps that up and he doesn't say that as long as he's not over swinging and pulling everything, we're fine. I never said it was a bad start to the season. I said today was a bad 8th inning. It was a good series. You won 3 out of 4. They looked good the first 3 days, but it was a bad 8th inning. I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean, you can't tell me that you like what you saw in that 8th inning when guys are, throwing the ball over the place. They can't get, all of a sudden they were doing so good, runners on base. Now we can't get a guy in. It really was frustrating. Any worries about certain players? Not yet. I mean, I think the rose is falling off Robinson Cano real quick because he was getting a bunch of little weak singles, and now all of a sudden he goes. And the fact that they bat this guy third and they feel the need to play him every single day is just really frustrating. He'll have more home runs than strikeouts. No, he won't. Pete Alonso's going to strike out over 100 times. He'll hit maybe 30-something home runs, 40-something home runs. So no, but again, if you know he's gonna suck, then save your long reliever. It's so simple. Oh my goodness. I don't know how many more times I gotta say it. It's just I don't know. I just don't think that's spot for Trevor Williams. Again, he's a long reliever to me. That's not where he should be. But that's just me. I understand Buck wants everybody to be out there, but that's just not what I would have done. And he really asked a lot out of Chase Retrieve too. I mean, he wanted the guy to go pretty much almost 3 innings because he comes in, he gets the out. Then he comes in, does nothing. Then he comes out again. That's a lot of up downs. I would love to know the same thing. I mean, Buck Showalter loves Robinson Cano, and he's getting paid so much, so he's got to play every single day. And it really is just frustrating to me. It really is. And, you call it unlucky, things like that. But you know what? Defense, it's a big part of the game, especially in close games. And we saw it in the World Series. You're going to need your guys to make throws. The first throw on Pete, I don't want to crush him too much. It was a weird in-between hop. I think what happened was he was so close to Tomas Nido, he didn't just want to beam it right at him and throw it really hard because it was so close. But at the second play, you'd want to make that throw. And he also, I think he rushed it with the speed the Nationals had on the bases, probably with both plays. So it comes down to taking your time. Pete wanted to try to turn 2. You just got to get 1 because when you're in a close game like that, outs are what matters most, just getting some outs. You don't want to take any risks. So that really is frustrating. It seems like that. I mean, it just seems like everybody's got to get off days. Nobody could play 3 days in a row besides Lindor, things like that. So we'll see. Schultz better not play Cano this much. Let JD. I hope so. But the thing is, like, I just what bothers me is that if Cano is going to play that much, no matter what, I don't know why you even keep JD Davis and keep Dom Smith, because if these guys aren't going to play that much, then you might as well trade them, because the only reason why Dom played is because, you're giving Starling Marte an off day. So Dom got to DH. So I just think it's going to be interesting that if you're going to ask Jankowski to make a lot of starts, you're going to ask Luis Guillorme to make a lot of starts. I don't love that. I mean, if the Mets are going to go with this kind of philosophy, I wish they kind of invested more into the bench, because they really didn't do anything for the bench this year. They just took some of their starters and moved them over. That pretty much is what happened. Other than that, it's what goes on. And the Phillies and Braves lost. That's great. But now the Mets face the Phillies. So we'll see how that series goes. It's going to be a big series. Should the Mets trade Walker and prospect Mauricio and ask for Soto and June once they're growing? Yeah, because they're going to need a lot more than that to get Juan Soto. You wish the Mets still had VR? I mean, I'll take Eduardo Escobar with Jonathan VR. VR was terrible with guys on base. He struck out quite a bit as well. So, I mean, he'd be nice to make a start over Luis Guillorme probably offensively. But other than that, I mean, are you going to go to Jonathan VR in a big pinch hitting spot? I don't think so. Better beat the Phillies because their pitching is terrible and their defense is terrible. So I guess you're calling Zach Wheeler terrible because you're going to face him in the second game. Ranger Suarez had a good year last year. We'll see if he's the real deal. And then Aaron Nola, he didn't have a good start his first time out. So we'll see if Aaron Nola is able to bounce back at all. But the Mets going to have Walker, and then you'll have Tyler McGill. So his second start. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, I guess the Mets are going to wait to trade Dominic Smith. Again, I feel like he's going to get traded at some point, especially if he doesn't want to be here. And, Pete Alonso doesn't want to be a DH, and Robinson Cano has to play over him. So I think Dom will be traded at some point. And I guess I'm hoping it's for a reliever so that, again, you could use a guy that's a little more established and just save Trevor Williams for long relief roles. That's what his role should be. Again, he should not be a guy that's what I just didn't like was that no matter how bad, let's just say Trevor Williams, I mean, he ended up giving up that hit to Cruz, I think it was. And it's like they weren't going to take him out. So the fact that Trevor Williams is like we had no other plan, I don't like that. I feel like you always want to be prepared. You always want to have another guy warming up. So we'll see. Zach Wheeler isn't good. That's a hot take of the day. You want DeGrom back? I mean, we all do. Yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3. Listen, I'll tell you what, if the Mets won every series the whole season, then they go to the playoffs easily. So, I mean, again, you're glad to win any series, but it's just frustrating when you just see, things like this happen. You could call it unlucky. The fact that Mets didn't have Diaz, they didn't have May, they had some bad plays on the bases. I mean, you could call it unlucky, but again, it ultimately is frustrating. I feel like there are a couple things that could have been done differently. But, I mean, listen, again, we know you're not going to win them all. But just the way it happened is frustrating. Anytime you lose a game late, it definitely isn't good. Oh, here we go. Will the Mets Mets pitchers be no match for Schwarber, Harper, and Musso, Castellanos, and Philly? Not all the pitchers, but it's going to be tough for Taijuan Walker because he's a fly ball pitcher. You're going in an extremely hitter-friendly ballpark in Citizens Bank. So, I mean, like you said, Castellanos, Schwarber, Harper, Hoskins, Didi Gregorius, Gene Segura. It's going to be a lot of home runs. Not to be optimist, but it was just one bad inning his first week. I mean, yeah, but one bad inning could be the deciding factor in a game. But, I mean, Metsfan, did you have any other thoughts about just the 8th inning? Anything you would have done differently, or you think Buck pushed all the right buttons?
All I can say is that the Mets are very rude. You know that? They're very, very rude. Okay, they come off of 3 wins. You get us all happy and everything. And
this is false. The Nationals didn't score any runs. The Mets scored on a wild pitch by Brandon Nimmo. So, no.
What happened now?
Alonso is the reason the Mets won the game yesterday. The Mets also scored another run when Brandon Nimmo scored on the wild pitch. So, the Nationals didn't score a run. That's what won the game. But won the game yesterday was the Nationals not scoring.
Here's the thing. Pete Alonso is going to win a Gold Glove one day, is what I'm told.
He's trying, but throwing is also part of it.
This guy is an idiot. Like, what? You have a fast guy like Gordon, and you're just like, what is that?
I think he thought he was too close to Nito. He didn't want to throw it like as hard as he could, but
Nito catches flamethrowers.
Definitely not. Right? I can't stand this guy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we are if we can't stand each other. That's kind of how the American standard is. But no. Oh my God, what the hell? Trevor Williams did his job. Okay, he kept the ball in the infield, he kept the ball on the ground, and these guys fucked up. So
Where was Drew Smith?
He pitched the last 2 days, didn't he?
Did he pitch both games or just the other day?
I think he pitched last 2 games, right? I
mean,
don't think he pitched opening day.
No, I think opening day was the day he did pitch.
Did he?
I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. But then, like, I was thinking, would you maybe think about Lugo 2 innings? I just don't know. Because what I said is that, like, it felt like they don't have a backup plan. That, like, no matter what Trevor Williams did, like, he was going to stay out there.
I think the only possible guy heading on out was David Peterson. I don't think they wanted to do that.
Yeah, all right, so Drew Smith pitched the last 2 days, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just want to know what happened to Trevor May. That's what I want to know, because he was warming up at one point, but then he couldn't come in, and they didn't say anything.
I'm fine. I'm fine putting in Trevor Williams. I trust Trevor Williams. I think he's a dog, but just all I saw was just terrible defense, man. And they ruined Canna's amazing day too. Canna was fantastic.
Buck said he was just trying really hard to get Trevor Williams into the game, which, again, I get that, but I just didn't like they didn't have a backup plan. That's what frustrates me.
At least they didn't, like, freaking drag Sean Reed Foley by their fingertips there.
I don't know. It definitely was pretty frustrating. So what do you think about Brandon Nimmo's game? Because, like I said, he went 0 for 5 and stranded 5 runners, struck out twice.
He's not a hitter I worry about. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm fine with him. If he gets off to a slow start, he gets off to a slow start. Usually when he does have some tough games, he usually has an injury attached to it, so let's hope that's not the case. But
what about Cano batting third, stranding 3 runs?
Cano batting third needs to die in a fire. That's got to go. I'd rather put this mid guy named Eduardo Escobar at third, who's
or
not
you could
impressive.
Put Canna second and have Lindor bat third.
Canna second against a lefty is usually what you do, but they have tons of options they can make. But
so then what about when he pinch hit for Nito? I was saying go to Starling Marte instead of JD Davis.
I think Luis Guillorme was no. Actually, to be honest, if you needed a base runner, Luis Guillorme was the guy to do it. But Starling Marte was on the bench. JD just, again, like I've said, he's the odd man out. I don't see a spot for him on this team.
Especially, then the same goes for Dom. If Cano's going to play this much, I mean, there's no role for either one of these guys. They're not, again, I said earlier, they're not defense replacements. They're not pinch runners. So, I mean, what are you going to do with them?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, they need to unload somebody from this bench. It's got to be JD Davis.
Yeah, and then,
Andrew, what do you think?
The other thing I was going to say is if Cano has bad career numbers against Doolittle, that's where I'm going to JD Davis.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I just think that and he looked so bad against Doolittle. It was just like strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, just chasing upstairs fastballs. It wasn't even a competitive at bat. So, I mean, I just feel like if you're going to have JD Davis, put him in position to succeed. We saw the last time JD Davis was good, it was against left-handed pitching. So, I mean, have him face a lefty. Don't have him face the righty in the 9th inning. But, Andrew, besides Pete Alonso just throwing the ball all over the place, are there any other takeaways you have?
I'm here for the bashing of that.
Yeah.
I forgot on Frank's channel. The bumbling moron that is our first base. I thought this is the bashing show, and I had to throw my 2 cents in.
No, I messaged him. I messaged him right before I came in here. I said, I'm hopping on Frank's stream to yell at Pete Alonso if you want to join, and that's how I brought him in here.
No,
but again, just like today, it was different than every other day this year. Obviously, we were hitting wrists. Nimmo's 0 for 5. He's swinging at first pitch. Now his weakness is swinging at sliders down and in. And I mean, he's trying to be aggressive, which I like, which it's different. But we're paying you to be the on-base guy. Not really seeing many pitches. It's usually 2 to 3 pitches, and boom, he's done. Either a ground out, fly out, line out, strike out, whatever. He's still, he walked a few times. He's still being productive, and today was worse than the other days, but he still made some value in the other games. Today, not so much. Carrasco pitched well, that was good to see. He definitely needed a good start, and you're just getting out of that first inning. And hell, if you're going to give up a run in the first inning, let it just be a run. Don't let it be 2. Don't let it be 3. If you're going to give up a run in the first, I'd rather it be 1 singular run and multiple 3-4, whatever. But he pitched well. Shreve got the big out for Soto. They kept him in. They tried to do the Joely Rodriguez thing again. And then, yeah, of course,
there was 3 up downs though, because he got the 1 out, pitched the other inning, and then he came out for another inning. I was like, I just don't feel like there's that much bullpen depth on this team. I don't know why, because I feel like if you're asking that much out of Chase Shreve and you're asking that much out of Trevor Williams, it's like, okay, well, don't we have any other guys that we could use?
You think about it. Smith pitched 2 days. Lugo pitched 2 days. Yes, he had an off day yesterday, but do you want to go back to 3 out of the first 4 days? You're going to use Lugo. He would have closed the game, obviously. You lose Diaz, so there goes your 9th inning guy. Lugo, you're going to save for the 9th. We still don't know what the hell's going on with Trevor May. Otto's pitched in 2 of the first, so he's pitched. So really, the only Sean Reed Foley, that's the only other guy in that bullpen. Drew Smith has pitched 2 days in a row, so you're not going to use Drew Smith. So you're stuck with Peterson, Sean Reed Foley, Trevor Williams, and Shreve. So those were the guys that were going to pitch today. Sean Reed Foley, maybe, who knows. But would you prefer them to go to Sean Reed Foley over Trevor Williams?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It can't be David Pearson. It can't be Sean Reed Foley.
And you knew exactly, like you said earlier, if they're going to use Trevor Williams, then Peterson is the emergency blanket when gets shelled tomorrow.
Yeah,
so you're going to see.
I wanted to say Trevor Williams for tomorrow. Buck was so determined to get Trevor Williams in the game. I was like, there's a really good chance you're going to need him tomorrow. There's a really good chance. So that's what frustrated me, is that he was like, no matter, and I don't like when managers do that, when they're like, no matter what, this is what I'm doing.
You got to go to
I hate that. I understand you have a plan, but sometimes you got to change things around. This isn't the worst idea in the world.
You could. Send Sean Reed Foley to the abyss. You can do that.
He had his 1 inning. He pitched good, but again, it's 1 inning, so you can't overreact to it.
But so apparently, we're only allowed to have 2 lefties max on a roster. Apparently, so
if you have 28 slots, why not?
And I was gonna be the
we've rode with 1 for 80 years. So,
that's true.
It would have been nice to have an Emilio Pagan and just have.
I was thinking about that as well.
I was gonna do it Dom hasn't done. He had a great spring, but obviously it's been 6-8 Bs. I'm not gonna overreact to him. Damn, it would have been nice to have Emilio Pagan, and then you would have had Chris Paddock as your extra starter for tomorrow. But
the way you take out Dom is just pitch him down and in if you're a right-handed pitcher.
He drew a couple walks, but
he can't hit it.
So I'll save my Alonso. I'll upgrade him. I'll upload him on my channel later. We'll have him. I'll use my.
I always want an extra bullpen player. Oh, what do you guys think about? So this is what I was getting a little concerned about. If Buck is going with this, everybody's got to play, nobody can play 3 days in a row. Travis Jankowski's going to start a lot. How do we feel about that?
I think this is just an April thing because, again, with the short spring, I think this could be on. I think once we get out of this extra man bullpen, we get throw out the 26-man rosters, and guys are back in the stride of game sleep. I think this crap goes away. I think this is still they're treating this first 2 weeks as it's real games, but still kind of you got to see what you got spring, because this is the thing about it. Add the 2 weeks of spring training. Now, this upcoming week is kind of that last week of spring training, and then they'll get going. So, at least in game-wise. So, I still think they're treating this April, with having the extra couple guys on the roster, as kind of extended spring training with games that matter. So, that's going to suck, because obviously tonight's one of those games you're like, what the hell are you doing? But who knows? I think it's just more of just April. Let's get through April, and once we get through that, then we'll start seeing a normal.
Oh, no. Tim Brin, Shaw just said nothing was wrong with Trevor May, who wound up earning the game, but he wanted to get Shreve and Williams in.
Okay.
What? Why do you not go to Trevor May?
Okay.
I'm okay.
If you warmed him up,
that's
use
the problem.
him. Use him. You see Trevor Williams in trouble. You need strikeouts. Go to Trevor May. You're paying him this money. Go to Trevor May.
Here's the only thing that I'll bounce back at. Let's say, and this is a hypothetical, it's probably not going to happen, but let's say Taijuan Walker has a great start tomorrow. Let's play hypothetical. You save Trevor Williams. Would you prefer to use Trevor Williams against the Nationals, or do you prefer to use Trevor Williams against the Phillies?
I'm still not using him. I'm saving him for when I need him. It's the whole long reliever. I've never seen a team that's long reliever in the 8th inning in a 1-run game. It's a long reliever.
That's the only thing I could see Buck saying, you know what, I'm going to save my best guys for the Phillies. Because, the Nationals, suck. You know, they got Bunting and Cruz with a little chopper up the middle getting the lead. That's the only thing I can see him being like, you know what? Let's save my best arms for tomorrow and Tuesday get Diaz back.
They need another reliever because, again, like you said, you're looking at Shari Floor, you're looking at David Peterson.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going David Peterson either.
And you got to think
you need another reliever. You need another reliever. And
you're one short right now. So you're looking at it like the bullpen is short because Diaz isn't here. So maybe that, counted. But, if it's saving May for tomorrow for the Phillies, I'm agree with you. You don't use your long man in that situation.
We also don't warm them up if you're not going to use them. That's the problem.
That's that's the other thing. I just said, why the fuck getting them up then? Excuse me. There's my one for the stream. But I don't understand. That's the only thing I'm trying to think what he's thinking about is being able to have Ottavino, May, Lugo tomorrow and then getting Diaz back on Tuesday. That's the only thing I can see.
Here's our deal, okay? The thing is that Trevor Williams is fine, okay? He was great.
Yeah,
Pete Alonso is fat. That's it.
Oh my god.
That is it.
Video will be out tonight. I'm gonna recount. I have a skit ready to go for tonight. So sometime tonight, if I can record after I eat dinner, Pete Alonso's skit will be out tonight. But yeah, that's who you blame. That's who the game is on. It's on Trevor Williams. He got 6 outs, but the team only behind him got 2, and then got lucky to get that third out. So
the other thing is that again, with Cano batting third, there still is not a consistent lineup. I understand, Marte was out, but I don't know. I just think, Mark Hanna swinging the hot bat. The guy that's swinging the hot bat goes to the top of the order.
That, and again, I've said it, and I said it on Mets Weekly. The 1-2 in this lineup needs to be Nimmo Hanna because that's 10 pitches right there. Starter, first time through the lineup. And then you could set Lindor. You could set,
Alonso.
Fat Boy or whoever else you want to fill out the rest of that lineup after that. Marte, maybe then move Marte to the 9th spot, and then a 9-1-2 lineup of Marte, Nimmo, Canna to set up to those guys. I think that could be a useful lineup. We'll see if Buck uses that. But the fact that Canna's red hot, you can even move up, the real second baseman on this team. We could, and just really go,
Yorme.
Yeah, like Yorme, and just really, and that's the difference with this team. At least now, if those guys are going to hit. They are a pesky bunch of players offensively.
Oh, but I was told that's not a good thing to have the whole lineup.
But that's not okay. Here's the thing: if you it's not going to win a World Series. That's when you get the deadline. You're going to get.
It won you 3 games against the fucking
Nationals, and we'll see what they do against good
Nationals.
Excuse me. We'll see left, and we're seeing a lefty tomorrow. So we'll see if that changes anything.
How does JD start tomorrow?
Who?
Does JD Davis get a start tomorrow?
Does JD play tomorrow?
All I can say is if JD is JD Davis against a lefty. If JD Davis is starting in left field over Mark Canna, I'm gonna throw some hands with Buck Showalter.
No, they rested Canna yesterday, so
if it's not Marte, Canna, JD, if it's not all right, the only left-handed bat in the lineup right now should be McNeil. That's the only lefty. That's the only
reason to watch this team.
No, Nimmo. We got Nimmo, but Nimmo's whatever.
Canna. He's the only reason.
Maybe Nimmo gets a day off.
I mean, you could, I guess, put Canna in center, JD in left. Who plays third?
I still want to avoid that. I don't know. I'm trying to because the thing is, with so many guys getting days off, you really don't know who's next. Does Lindor get a day off next? I mean, who knows? I mean,
hell, I'd sit Pete, or I'd put him at least DH tomorrow.
After that, last night. I mean,
I DH him or give him a day off because that was pathetic. And I get the hater of that. They sit him down.
They have
or put him in the DH.
They have to beat the Nationals. I don't care what part of the season it is. Just beat them up. I don't care.
Yeah. And yes, they didn't hit. And they didn't hit today. Lindor homer, which is cool. Forgot how they scored the second run.
Does Dom make those throws in the 8th inning?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Patrick Mazeika makes those throws.
James McCann makes those throws.
James McCann absolutely makes those throws because he's got the McCann.
He's got the McCann, and he's not gonna. Hey, Tomas, take this.
No, but that's what bothers me. Alonso isn't willing to. Well, obviously he's not willing to because DH last night. But if Dom and Pete are playing, DH Pete.
Pete can hit a ball.
It's like Pete. I hit ball real far, and that's what I do.
That's it.
What concerns me about Pete is his running, man. This guy, he is slow, man. He is. I'm still mad. This guy fell for third base. He doesn't have an RBI yet because this guy falling down.
Eduardo still doesn't have an RBI.
No, because nobody gets on in front of him. You know how many runners Escobar stranded today?
Trash.
Zero.
Trash.
Because
Can't get an
Nimmo doesn't
RBI
get
though.
on.
He
doesn't
can't get an
on,
RBI. What is he good for? What is he good for if he can't get it? If he can't get an RBI, what is he good for?
There's nobody on, and they're all too slow to score.
Oh, I thought. Well, that's the reason why Conforto's bad, right? Because he can't get the RBIs.
Well, no, he had guys on base. He was strikeout looking.
But he was good with runners on base.
And then why is he unemployed?
I don't know.
Exactly.
He doesn't want the Fauci ouchie. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. That was a joke I saw today, and I was on the floor for a good 10 minutes. It was funny.
That's not even a rule anymore, so that's not an excuse.
I don't know.
Binghamton hasn't played yet.
Interesting. I'm starting to get like, if I have a concern, like let's say overreaction first series, it's the bench and bullpen depth. I just feel like the team. I think we kind of know a long team has enough depth, but I feel like if you're asking Jankowski to make a lot of starts from you, if you're telling me I have to pick between Shaw Reed Foley and David Pearson in a close game in the 8th inning,
Jankowski had a good game yesterday, man.
If you did it once, he'll do it every time. You know that's the same.
He was great. He gets on base.
Oh, what are we doing? Our overreactions? Is that what we're doing? Our
overreactions? Pete, go to Weight Watchers. There you go.
The catching situation. Jesus Christ, they have Javi Baez with no talent with Tomas Nido, and James McCann is a war criminal. Literally.
See, the thing is that Tomas Nido is allowed to suck offensively because he's not getting paid $40 million.
It's like, you know what? I'm joining Team Frank here. I'm just going to dream about seeing Francisco Alvarez absolute piss missiles. Because
forget framing, fast track.
Just get him to the big. If he keeps, again, I have said on the record, if he won Soto's AA, get him up here. I don't care.
I mean, we basically still have a pitcher batting 9th right now.
Well, yeah, because Tomas Nido is like the Javi Baez. Like everyone makes fun of Javi Baez swinging early.
I mean, Tomas Nido is not a terrible hitter. If you give him fastballs, no. If you give him fastballs, then he's a terrible hitter.
But then he was swinging at an off-speed pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, if you throw a slider in the dirt, he swings.
I think eventually teams are going to catch on to Tomas Nido only bunting, and then he's going to be in trouble.
I say keep doing it. That's
a joke,
get those legs working. Get those thunder thighs up. That's all I got to say. Keep it going.
That's a pulled hamstring waiting to happen. You're just bunting every time.
And all I'm going to say is James McCann has more balls in the air than Tomas Nido, and a couple rips down the line. So McChicken revenge season is still happening. Hitting more balls in the air.
It's right on schedule.
He also has more balls on his fucking body because he's been hit a lot. And it's funny.
Yes, a lot. And who almost got hit today? Was it Dom?
I don't think
got hit.
Somebody
almost got hit today.
Almost got hit. I don't know who. Well, I was
so many hit batters in this series. Now one of them was Canna. Canna is a
not one. Yeah, not one was Canna.
And Marte is another guy that he's had a lot of hit passes in his career.
See, Canna doesn't need to get hit by the pitch to get on base.
He has high batting base.
And I think he has more. He got base more times so far than Conforto all of July.
It's not surprising.
It's got to be June.
No, it's June Conforto.
No, I know the stat I saw was July, but June is very possible too.
It's June Fordo.
It's June Fordo is different.
That's a nightmare.
Well, that's the good thing is that once the draft is up, June's over, and he'll be.
He's right ready to go.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
We don't have to worry about June.
He'll be fine.
That's why I was good in 2020. There was no June. Yeah. I think I figured out why I was so good in.
He was so good. That's a fact. It was no June soon. Oh man.
Maybe. I guess he's average in June, but he stinks in June.
He's literally dog shit. It's bad. Like
he draws walks, but that's about it. So. All right. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling about McGill Wheeler on Tuesday?
Of course, my birthday has to have McGill on the mound, and
is Wheeler healthy?
Zach Wheeler. Yeah, he's pitching.
He's making his first start.
He's pitching Tuesday. Yeah,
that's the schedule. And then
Wheeler.
I'll say this.
It's the equivalent to DeGrom Wheeler. So
yeah, fuck off. So I said, like, here's the thing. It's the benefit of Zach Wheeler's probably not throwing more than 80 pitches.
I hope not.
So in this lineup, if it keeps, grinding ABs, that's out maybe in the 4th inning. Feed me Brad Hand and Jerry's Familia, and let's go work that bullpen. I think that's the one
that blew the game.
The A's beat him today. The A's beat him today.
Today for the Phillies, they had Brogdon and Jones. Mm-hmm. And then they also had a guy, Falter. Like, what? Who are these
Hey,
guys?
that's what I mean.
I know Brogdon. Fulton
Brogdon,
Jones,
he's good.
I
He's solid.
I'm all too familiar with.
Yeah.
No name relievers for them to beat us with.
So,
Ugly.
And then Phillies fan Andrew, how are you feeling about our Ranger Suarez tomorrow?
it's a lefty against the Mets, which never seems to do well. But again, we haven't seen this team versus a left-handed pitcher. But I still think he's very fluky last year. It's a fluky kind of, he pitched well. We'll see what he can do now with a legit. He kind of was like that Trevor Williams. He was mostly a reliever. Now he's a starter. We'll see how he does full time as a starter. But we'll see if Canada doesn't take him deep, and Eddie RBIs, maybe has a couple RBIs, and
they got
maybe
base for him.
0. He's worth nothing.
They got to get on base.
0 RBI.
And think of, I'll give it this. Maybe we get a revenge game from Pete Alonso tomorrow. Pissed off polar bear at CBP. He hits well at CBP historically. I think we've had a bunch of homers there.
Yeah. I love I love that Alonso's last night's home run. The bat flip, it went to the first row because the launch angle was insane, but it's still a home run in every ballpark. It was like the weirdest home run. It was first row, but it goes out everywhere because the launch.
That's how strong
weird.
he is, but he's still fat. What was that today, Pete? Idiot.
He is dumber than a bag of hammers, but he uses the bat as a hammer to hit baseball. So you take what you give with that.
Here's the thing that scares me. Gene Segura has 2 home runs already.
Oh, he's going to hit one off the Mets. He's hitting one off Taiwan.
Every time, literally every time he threw that ball today, man, Cheeto dust was coming out of him. He looked like
Ryan tweeted out, I thought he was Duda in that the ground ball Soto had. I was already in my
Gold
tweets.
Glove Pete.
I already said the SpongeBob. You want to see me do it again? If he did it again with the dude, when he got,
were you the other one they threw?
I thought he was gonna do all that. So I was ready.
That one he didn't underhand. That one he let it.
He hammered. I'm like, he's gonna do that to the backstop. But you know what?
I mean, listen, we know playoff time. We'll see. Hopefully, we can make the plays.
Right.
But I guess that's probably it. I mean,
it's not else though.
But again, I think Carrasco having a first good start. That's a good sign. Just keep it up. Just don't give him home runs in the first inning, and he'll be fine. But I like that. You know what? He sure got a bunch of batters in a row, and he uses off-speed stuff a lot. They said that the elbow procedure allows him to use his off-speed stuff more frequently. So I'm interested to see how that works. Maybe the other guy could learn a lesson and not throw as many fastballs as well. But
wonder who's
stubborn.
Nah.
Gonna throw that first pitch. Kyle Schwarber's gonna hit one off that third deck. He's gonna hit one off the third deck.
I want to intentionally walk Schwarber. I just can't take it, man.
And then
I thought we were gonna get the 4th win today, go 4-0, so I can mentally prepare myself for the freaking slugfest we're gonna have with Taiwan Walker throwing an 88-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle.
If he's throwing 88, just get rid of him. He can't be throwing 88.
Just looks like shit.
Then he really has no shot. We'll see. I hope his knee is feeling better. But
all-star.
That is it. If anyone has any other questions, please leave them in the comment section. But Metsfan, is your video ever going to come out or
no? I'm thinking June next year. That's what I'm thinking. Just keep things fresh. Maybe one day.
Andrew, you got anything planned?
Again, birthday stream on Tuesday. I'll probably stream before the game. Probably smell be the show, just hanging out, and then post game probably. The winning with Bryce Harper, it's 3 homers for my birthday gift, so I'm expecting that. So
having cake?
There you go.
We having cake, man?
I don't know. I'm thinking about having cookies. I'm not really a big cake guy. More of a cookie guy.
Wow.
Cookies, cinnamon bun, stuff like that than cake.
I dig it. I can dig it. Right.
Donuts too,
Before Andrew makes us any more hungry, thank you for watching, everyone. Hopefully we have a pretty good series against the Phillies, and I'm not looking forward to tomorrow, but I'm just going to pray for the best. So thanks for watching. Till next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy. Let's go Mets.